He says, good morning. I've really got to start doing content. Yeah, content is really powerful. I think it's going to become more powerful moving forward because it's becoming easier and easier to build using vibe coding tools. Like yesterday, I vibe coded up 2 interactive lead magnets, one that helps you work out what business you should start in the world of AI. It's quite a cool tool, actually. I'll release it in a few days. And another one that helps you work out how to start delivering your first workshops. So AI workshops, and it ask you about your experience levels and how you like to teach, etc. And then guides you through and helps you work out how much money you can make. So I vibe coded these up. I created a new homepage. I created a new place to host my 80 or 90 plus playbooks. So it's about 500,000 words of content, and it was all vibe coded and took me 4 or 5 hours. It's something I could have done in Webflow or WordPress, or technically I could have done it by hand, although I haven't done that for years. But I was able to do it in Lovable for, I think it must have cost me $30 in credits, and it took me a few hours. So because building is becoming so easy, I think distribution is going to be the key now. So someone like Levels.io, Peter Levels over on Twitter, is an example of this. He vibe coded a little fun little flight simulator, and he did it for fun initially. But because he has an audience of millions, or however many, hundreds of thousands or millions, he was able to document what he was building. And people start showing interest and say, oh, can you add multiplayer? Can you add the ability to shoot each other down, etc.? And it just snowballed because he has an audience first and foremost. So when you have an audience, when you have distribution, anything that you do just has that leverage. It could be accelerated. And people showed an interest in his funny little project. And eventually he sold adverts on, you could buy sky banners and banners at the airport. And I think he made, let me find it because it's worth looking up. Levels.io flight simulator. I think he made 100,000 or so. Oh, okay. Nope. He was making $87,000 a month. Okay. Okay. He's making $1 million a year on his funny little flight simulator. Okay. Here's the tweet. Let me put it up on screen. This is the power of having an audience. So fly.peter.com has now gone from 0 to $1 million annual recurring revenue in 17 days. Revenue update, 87,000 monthly recurring revenue. My first project ever to go up this fast. So he was selling adverts, basically. So 320,000 people have now thrown in the game. Whether the MRR, monthly recurring revenue, is truly sustainable for a year, we can only guess. Probably not. But they are subscriptions and they do renew. So as long as the game keeps improving, maybe it will happen. And then he goes on to talk about he got hacked by UFO invaders. Okay, since I kept getting hacked by UFO invaders, I decided to sell the UFOs. And coincidentally, Basecamp wanted a UFO as the origin of 37 signals comes from the 37 radio signals detected from space to detect extraterrestrial life. I did not know that. So he got Basecamp to sponsor him based on the fact that he got some people hacking and griefing his games. So again, when you have an audience, weird things like this can happen. And this is sorry. And I have one new sponsor that sells Ozempic. So got the text on the blimp, are you as big as a blimp? Lose weight at the website. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. When you have an audience, you can do things like this. This is how I launched the AI workshop kit, for example. So we have done 4 cohorts, probably about $500,000 from the AI workshop kit. And that was based on initially me tweeting and putting out a video saying, hey, I give AI workshops. I currently personally charge between $1,000 and $4,000 per hour, which is true, but I'm getting too much demand for giving AI workshops. What I'm thinking of doing is licensing out my material to people who can go and give my workshops for me, and they can go and get paid $1,000, $2,000 per hour. Would anyone be interested in this? So that was the first video that I put on TikTok. And I had about 100 people say, yeah, I'd be interested in this. That told me, it gave me the signal that there was a market for the idea. So we started to develop it from there. The next stage was putting together a wait list. So saying, hey, this is what we're building. This is what it would look like. This would be roughly the cost. Are you interested? And again, I think we had about 600 people on the wait list. Again, that's a signal saying, hey, build this. I did not build it yet. What I did was I launched the first cohort. So I got people to pay. We started it up, and I built it as we went with the first cohort. So you can de-risk your businesses by having an audience, because it allows you to ask questions and to gauge the market using your audience rather than guessing. Because if you don't have an audience, you're either spending money on adverts, or you have to partner with somebody who does have an audience and then you split the revenue with them, or you just hope for the best, which doesn't work. And if you go to one of the AI kind of tool directories or even product hunt, you'll see most of the products there, they just die. They cannot exist because the creators of these products have not worked out their distribution. They have not worked out their marketing. So I believe that distribution and marketing is going to be even more important moving forward because it's becoming so easy to build stuff. But the good news is, once you have an audience in place and you start building cool stuff, you can get it out to them like Levels did and make apparently an insane amount of money from a little flight simulator. Obviously, that is an edge case, but it's an instructive one, I think.